Capricorn. The version of you they tried to break is finally coming back stronger. They thought they broke you. But look closer at what actually shattered that year. It wasn't your spine. It wasn't your mind. It wasn't the part of you that gets up at 5 in the morning when nobody is clapping. What broke was something quieter than that. Something that had been cracked for a very long time before anyone finally leaned on it hard enough to finish the job. What broke was your willingness to keep accepting less. Many Capricorns may recognize a very particular season of life, a season where the phone stopped ringing the way it used to, where the people who once called you dependable started calling you difficult the moment you got tired, where you were praised for being strong right up until the second you asked for something in return, and you didn't scream. That's the part nobody talks about. You didn't fall apart in public. You went home. You closed the door. You handled it the way you handle everything, privately, thoroughly, and alone. So they assumed you were fine, or they assumed you were finished. And honestly, for a while, you might not have known which one was true either. But something has been happening in that silence, something that doesn't announce itself, something slow and stubborn and almost geological, the way a mountain doesn't argue with the weather, it just outlasts it. Here's the question worth sitting with for the next 20 minutes. What if the chapter that almost destroyed your confidence was actually the chapter that finally introduced you to your real strength? Because if that's true, and for many Capricorns it may be, then the person walking out of this season isn't the person who walked in. And the people who remember the old version have absolutely no idea what's coming. Let's talk about who you used to be, not to shame that person, to honor them, and then to understand exactly what happened to them. The version of you they remember always showed up, early, prepared, carrying something for somebody. That person kept promises that other people had already forgotten making. That person answered the emergency call at 11 at night and never mentioned that they'd had a hard day too. The version of you they remember worked quietly. No announcements, no highlight reels. You built things in the background and let other people stand in front of them. You were the responsible one, the steady one, the one who could handle it. And here's the thing about being the one who can handle it. People stop asking whether you should have to. That's not always cruelty. Sometimes it's just human. People become comfortable with whatever version of us keeps giving. Comfort is quiet. Comfort doesn't check in. Comfort assumes. So the loyalty went out and less came back. The effort went out and less came back. And you kept telling yourself the same thing you'd told yourself since you were young. It's fine. I've got it. Many Capricorns may relate to a very specific kind of exhaustion. Not physical tiredness. You can push through that. This was something else. The tiredness of being needed constantly and known rarely. Maybe you saw it in a friendship that only surfaced when something was wrong. Maybe you saw it in a family that treated your competence as an obligation. Maybe it was a relationship where your steadiness got mistaken for having no needs of your own. Maybe it was a job where the work you did got a different name on it. And somewhere in there, on some ordinary night, nothing dramatic, no lightning, just a kitchen light and a cold cup of coffee, a question came up that you'd been avoiding for years. I was strong for everyone. But who was strong for me? You may not have had an answer. Most people don't, the first time that question arrives. But here's what most people miss about that moment. That question is not a symptom of weakness. It's the sound of something old starting to give way. And it usually shows up right before everything changes. Transformation almost never looks like the movies. There's no speech, no table flipped, no dramatic exit that everyone talks about for years afterward. Real transformation is embarrassingly small from the outside. It's a decision made in a room with nobody in it. Picture the scene. It's late. Later than you meant to be up. The house has gone quiet. In that particular way, houses go quiet after midnight, when even the appliances seem to be listening. Your phone is face down on the table. You put it that way on purpose, because checking it had started to feel like waiting for a verdict, and you were tired of standing trial in a courtroom you didn't agree to enter. And the memories are doing what memories do at that hour, replaying. Not the big moments, the small ones, the tone in someone's voice, the look you pretended not to see, the 3 seconds of hesitation before somebody defended you or didn't. You run the arguments again. You build the case. You compose the message you'll never send. And then, at some point, something strange happens. The noise stops. Not because you resolved it, because you ran out of energy to keep it going. And in that emptied-out silence, a thought arrives that feels less like a thought and more like something being handed to you. I cannot keep abandoning myself just to keep other people comfortable. That's it. That's the whole turning point. No witnesses, no applause. If this resonates with you, you may already know what happened next, which is, on the surface, nothing. You went to bed, you got up, you went to work. Nobody noticed a thing, but something underneath had shifted position, the way ground shifts before anyone above it feels it, because you didn't decide to get revenge. Revenge keeps you tied to the person who hurt you. It makes their reaction the finish line. You decided something far more dangerous to the old arrangement. You decided to stop auditioning. And this is where everything changes, because a person who has stopped auditioning is no longer available to be managed. Now, someone probably noticed the difference, and someone probably gave it a name. You've changed. You've gotten cold. You're not the same person you used to be. Let's take that apart, because it matters. Cold is the absence of feeling. Cold is not caring what happens to anyone. Cold is comfortable with damage. That's not what happened to you. What happened is that you started reading situations accurately for the first time in your life, and accuracy, to people who benefited from your inaccuracy, feels exactly like coldness. You may have noticed that you no longer explain yourself the way you used to, not because you have something to hide, because you finally understood that some people aren't asking questions. They're conducting an investigation, and the verdict was written before you opened your mouth. Peace does not always require an explanation. You may have noticed you stopped chasing. The unreturned message stays unreturned now. You used to send the second one and the third, apologizing for the first. Now, you just let the silence stand, and let it mean what it means. You may have noticed you stopped negotiating for a seat at tables where your presence was always conditional, and you may have noticed something that surprised you, that you can be enormously warm to the people who earned it, and completely unmoved by people who didn't, both at once. That's not contradiction, that's discernment. You can have a good heart without giving everyone unlimited access to it. That sentence takes about 3 seconds to say, and sometimes 10 years to learn. Here's the part worth sitting with. Boundaries are not walls. A wall keeps everyone out permanently and doesn't care who's standing there. A boundary has a door in it, and you're the one holding the handle. Some people you open it for immediately. Some people knock for a long time. Some people you never open it for again, and that is allowed. Sometimes distance is not punishment. It's protection. It's not a message you're sending them. It's a promise you're keeping to yourself. And the strangest part? The people who respect your boundaries were never the ones you needed protecting from. Confidence doesn't come back the way it left. It left loudly. It left in pieces, in specific moments you could probably still name. But it returns quietly. It returns without ceremony, in ordinary decisions that would look like nothing to an outside observer. You catch it in small places first. You notice you didn't rehearse a conversation before having it. You notice you said no, and then didn't spend the next 4 hours drafting a justification. You notice someone was disappointed in you, and you were able to hold that and stay steady and not immediately dismantle yourself to fix it. That's it. That's what it looks like coming back. Listen to the difference. The old version said, "I hope they accept me." The version emerging now says, "I accept myself." Their opinion is information, not a verdict. The old version said, "What will they think?" The version emerging now asks a better question. Does this choice respect the person I am becoming? The old version said, "I need to prove myself." The version emerging now says nothing at all, because the work is doing the talking, and it doesn't need an interpreter. The old version negotiated with people who had already decided. The version emerging now recognizes a closed door and stops knocking. The old version measured worth by how much was carried. The version emerging now understands that you're allowed to put things down. Notice that none of this is loud. That's the whole point. Loud confidence is usually still performing for someone. Quiet confidence has stopped needing an audience. There is a kind of steadiness that only exists on the other side of having survived something. You can't fake it, and you can't shortcut it. It comes from having been in the worst version of a situation and discovered, to your own genuine surprise, that you were still standing at the end. Many Capricorns may recognize the feeling of walking into a room and no longer scanning it for approval. Just being in it. Just being a person who's there. You didn't get louder. You got harder to shake. And those are very different things. Let's talk about them. Carefully. Because this is where people usually get it wrong. There are people who counted you out. Who decided what your ceiling was. Who spoke about your situation with a confidence they never earned. Some of them meant to hurt you. Some of them genuinely believed they were being realistic. And here's the truth about all of them, which is harder to hear than it sounds. Most of them are not thinking about you. They moved on. They have their own difficult mornings and their own quiet kitchens. The trial you've been holding in your head has one participant. So the fantasy, the one where they finally see it, finally understand, finally say the thing you needed them to say, that fantasy has a cost. It puts your peace in a bank account only they can access. Growth is the only response that actually pays you. And here's what they will never have access to, no matter what they eventually see. They will not see the nights you sat with the question of whether you had anything left. They will not see the moment you almost quit, and then, for no dramatic reason, didn't. They will not see the discipline you practiced when there was no result yet to justify it. The hardest kind there is. They will not see the decisions nobody applauded. The relationship you ended when staying would have been easier to explain. The opportunity you turned down because it required a version of you that you had just finished burying. They will not see the emotional work, the unlearning, the apology you gave yourself. They may only ever see the outcome, a calmer person, a steadier life, something built that wasn't there before. And they'll call it luck, or timing, or a phase. Let them. Because here is the center of everything, and if you take one line out of these 20 minutes, take this one. You do not need to make them regret losing you. You need to become someone you no longer regret abandoning. Read that again, slowly. The years you spent making yourself smaller, that was the real loss. Not them. You. You were the one who left first. Every time you agreed to be less so, someone else could stay comfortable. And that's the person coming back. Not to settle a score. To come home. So who is this? Symbolically, this version of Capricorn is more peaceful. Not because life got easier, but because fewer things are being carried that were never yours. More selective. Not everyone gets the full story anymore. And that's not secrecy. That's editing. More disciplined, but differently. The old discipline was fueled by fear of falling behind. This one is fueled by respect for the person you're building. More emotionally intelligent. You can feel something completely and still not act on it in the first 90 seconds. More protective of time. Because somewhere in the last few years, you did the math on how much of it there is. Less reactive. Less dependent on being understood. And here's a thing worth saying clearly, because a lot of people get this exactly backwards. Becoming stronger does not mean becoming harder. Hardness is brittle. Hardness cracks under a big enough impact. What you're building is closer to weight. The kind of steadiness that doesn't need to resist because it simply doesn't move. True strength can look like walking away without a final speech. It can look like saying no in one sentence and then not apologizing for the shape of it. It can look like resting on a Sunday without treating it as evidence of laziness. It can look like starting over at an age where people say it's too late and being unbothered by their arithmetic. It can look like loving someone completely and still knowing where you end and they begin. It can look like forgiving someone entirely, genuinely, in your chest, and still never opening that door again. Those two things were never in conflict. There is one final distinction that matters here. You are not returning to who you were. That person is gone, and you should let them go with respect and without nostalgia. You are returning to yourself, carrying everything the last few years taught you. Same mountain, higher altitude, better view. So let me speak to you directly for a moment. Maybe you're not behind. Maybe you've been comparing your rebuilding phase to other people's finished photographs, and that comparison was never fair to begin with. Maybe the delay wasn't failure. Maybe it was the only thing that could have made you strong enough for what you're about to hold. Maybe losing those particular people didn't take something from you. Maybe it made room. Maybe self-respect couldn't fit in the space they were occupying. Maybe the old version of you had to end, not as a punishment, but the way a season ends. Nothing failed. Something completed. And maybe the hardest years weren't the ones where you lost something. Maybe they were the ones where you finally stopped losing yourself. Perhaps this chapter has been teaching you something you couldn't have learned in an easier one. That you can survive being misunderstood. That your worth was never up for a vote. That you can rebuild, not because someone rescued you, but because you were the one who kept showing up in an empty room, doing the work with no audience and no guarantee. If that resonates with you, then you already know. Nobody handed you this. You made it. Here's what I want you to remember. They will always remember the version of you that struggled. That's the version they have. That's the last photograph they took. But they don't get to decide which version walks into the future. You do. You've been underestimated by people who never saw the work. You've been counted out by people who never saw the nights. You've been described by people who never once asked. And none of it stopped the mountain from being a mountain. The storm has passed. The sky over you is getting light. And the person standing there at sunrise is not the one they broke. It's the one that got built afterward, out of the pieces, on purpose, by you. Walk forward. And if this reached you at the right moment, take a second to like the video, subscribe for more, and share it with someone who's rebuilding quietly right now. They may need to hear that somebody sees it.